Hey Basicers, welcome back to Strictly Bass Tutorials. Today we're gonna talk about two-hand tapping. For all of you who have never done it, I'm gonna introduce you to it today, and I'm gonna do that with a very simple lick which might sound complicated at first, but trust me, you can do it too. Let me play it for you once. Here we go. Let me explain how this works. So what I'm doing here is basically I'm just playing minor and major arpeggios, I guess you could call them. I'm playing them through all 7 modes. I'm cheating a little bit, but we'll get to that in a bit. I'm starting on the 6th degree, which is Aeolian, which is minor, right? So what I'm playing is on the 12th fret of the E string with my index finger of the left hand is the root note, E. With the index finger of my right hand I play the 5th, which is on the 14th fret of the A string. With the ring finger of my right hand I play the 9, which is on the 16th fret of the D string. And then on the 12th fret of the G string, the minor third of E minor. So all together, or one after another, sounding together eventually. This is the basic shape. What I really like about this shape is this minor second up here. It's kind of useless on its own, unless you're kind of doing a soundtrack for a horror movie. But other than that, it's pretty dissonant, but as soon as the root and the 5th come in, it all makes sense again. Isn't music beautiful? Let's check out what I'm doing on the other modes. Number 1, mode 6th degree, Aeolian, is my minor shape. On the 5th degree, I have Mixolydian, which is basically the same pattern. As I'm not playing 7th, there's not as much change as there could be from chord to chord. But one little change we go from minor third to major third. I use 2 different fingers for that because it helps me to automate it, or I guess it helped me to automate it more quickly. Because when I use the same finger for both, I kind of have to estimate the stretch that I'm doing depending on minor or major. But the stretch is different in every position on the fretboard. If I have a specific finger for minor and for major, the thought process is really just middle or ring finger, and not so much a little bit further or not so far. So minor with a middle finger, major with a ring finger. What's on the 4th degree? You're right, Lydian, another major. Then we go to the 3rd degree, and here's where I cheat, because I just like how it sounds. Usually on the 3rd degree you would have to play a minor 9th, but yeah, depending on what style you play, if you're in metal, go all the way minor 9th. Go as dissonant as you want, but if you're playing in a more harmonious context, then I'm cheating here and just play them. Major 9 exactly. Number 2, mode number 2, Dorian, 2nd degree, is minor again, just regular minor. Everything's fine with this one, no cheating necessary. Then the 1st degree, of course, Ionian, major. Then we come to the 7th degree, which is even more dissonant than Phrygian on the 3rd degree. This one's Locrian, and this doesn't only have a flat 9, it also has a flat 5. which sounds extra special dissonant if you play it as low as this. Okay, this one's kind of a stretch, and maybe it's not that useful in most music styles, but it's beautiful once it dissolves. Listen to this. Tension and release. That's what music is all about, if you ask me. Then again, it isn't always. Sometimes you can just play something really chilled and be fine with that. But topic for another video. Well, that's basically it. But let me give you a few hints of how you can alternate this exercise to come up with your own ideas. Number one, don't just go down the scale, up the scale. We didn't go up the scale, but obviously you can do that too. For example, you could just skip one mode and then come back to it after that, which is going down a third, going up a second, going down a third, going up a second. This is how this sounds. Gets pretty musical right away. Did I promise too much? I know I like it. But you can go completely crazy. You can play a 1-5-6-4 with it. So there's one final thing I want to say to this. This technique is usually not applicable in a band context. Most bassists use it when they play solo stuff. It's very hard to make use of this in a band context. Unless, which I did many times successfully without being killed after the gig, in a trio setting with a guitarist and a drummer. Because guitarists, when they take solos and there's not a keyboard, a pianist or organist in the band, or a second guitar player, then they kind of enjoy, if not every solo is just bass notes, especially on a slow song like a ballad or a blues. Let me just show you how different it can sound if you play a normal bass accompaniment of the blues compared to this cool tapping lick, which your guitarist is gonna love. If not, send him to me, I'll beat him up. Okay, here we go. Imagine slow blues ballad and two gun two ba guitar solo and version 1, which works well and fine, nothing against that, but play that a whole gig for 2 hours and it can get boring, let's put it that way. And yeah, to get out of this loop, try this next time. Maybe let's move that G an octave up, so we're not creating that nasty low frequency rumble. The blues with two-hand tapping. 1, 2, and here comes the solo and... I'm not gonna say one is better than the other. Judge for yourself, pick what you like, pick what sounds best in your ears, And yeah, that's all I have to say for this week. Love and bass. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, I've got a new one coming up on YouTube every single week. So subscribe to this channel or go all in. Book a free trial lesson with a link in the description. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Love and bass.